Greetings! So what I have here in front of me is a beautiful set of 24 colors of watercolor from Mary's. If you're familiar with Mary's, probably familiar with this logo. These are paints made in China. These are the colors in the set. And I'm really eager to try these out. They are their Masters set, Finest Quality Artists Watercolor. You get the tubes in this tray. Now, these tubes are really what you expect watercolor tubes to look like, pretty much. Though I will say, I quite enjoy the texture of the tube. It's a lot of fun in a tactile way. I've already set these up in a palette because since they were tube paints, I wanted them to be given a chance to dry out so that I could test out their rewettability and all of that. So that's why the tubes are a bit pressed. We get a really nice selection of 24 colors, and it's worth noting that the pigment info is written directly on the tube, so you get the number, the name, the light fastness, and the pigments. So that's always something much appreciated. Immediately being able to know what pigments are in your paint will elevate them to something more of a professional range compared to a more student or amateur range, or hobbyist, also perfectly fine. The tubes included in this set are 9 milliliters. They are somewhat reminiscent in look and shape of Cutman tubes, you know, the elongated tubes that they tend to use. I've set these up in palettes and I will show you how that looks. So I didn't have any palette with 24 wells on hand, and I also didn't want to use a plastic palette that has wells on both sides of the folding palette because sometimes that can make a really big mess, and when I'm working with paints that I'm not familiar with, I don't know what to expect. So I wanted to try to find something that was flat and that I could easily use, and this is what I settled for. I had 4 of these palettes from Holbein. They have 6 wells in the middle, 2 big wells at the ends, so I was like 24 colors would fit in the middle wells, and I can use the bigger wells for mixing. I also labeled the colors on the side with some painter's tape and a white pen. As you can see right away, these pens dried beautifully. Nothing cracked, nothing detached from the plastic. These all look really nice and smooth. They worked really well, to be honest. They re-wet really easily, and I had a lot of fun painting with these. After setting up the palette and letting the paints dry in them, I painted some swatches. And obviously, I did my usual demo drawings. But if we take a look at the swatches first, this is what it looks like. The piece of black paper here is just to test out how opaque the white paint is. It's kind of hard to test white paint opacity on a white background, so that's why I did that. And you can see the selection of colors. These are quite nice in terms of range of colors. So you get neutrals in the white, the black, and the Payne's gray, kind of. Get a sort of neutral yellow, a warm yellow, one orange, red, and then more magenta-ish colors. A real magenta in this permanent rose, another red, purple, another purple here. I've swatched the colors in the order they were in the box. You could reorganize these around to fit a particular chromatic order that you prefer. I really just went with what's in the box. So that's why there's a purple here and one there. But you could group these two together and transition the reds into the blues and then the blues into the greens. That's up to you. We get, for greens, interestingly, this set has phthalo green yellow shade and phthalo green blue shade in it. It's really rare to see the phthalo green yellow shade in sets. I really like the blues in this set as well. I love having a good cyan. I love having an ultramarine blue option and a Prussian blue option. The cobalt blue is somewhat similar to the ultramarine in terms of hue, but it's kind of a slightly less intense color. It doesn't go as deep as the ultramarine. We get a nice selection of earth tones as well. So a good yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and raw umber. In terms of hue, these are really quite nice. Only the yellow ochre is a single pigment. Most of these colors are single pigment. You get a few that are a mix, but overall I think it's a really nicely balanced palette. And I did 2 little paintings with these. So for this one, I really wanted to try using some of the blues, some of the greens, and to layer colors. I have quite a few layers in the grass, also the stones on this little thingy. And I used the white for some variations at the end. For this one, I also wanted to try doing a lot of layers in this background because I wanted to create sort of an effect with layers of colors to make the forest in the back appear a bit more distant than what's in the front. You can see the kind of nice granulation I was able to get in here with the ultramarine blue. So that was really fun to use. I have really a good layering of paints on there, and I think it looks great. These paints layered beautifully and they mixed beautifully as well. I didn't notice any kind of weird thing happening, no weird flaws, no odd separation. Sometimes things can surprise you in an unexpected way, an unpleasant way, but this was a really smooth experience. I really enjoyed painting with these, and I was basically able to do everything I wanted to do. Reviews are always very easy to do when the paints are good, and I really don't have anything negative to say. I really enjoyed working with these. I like how they look on the paper, I like how they layer, how they re-wet, how they dry in the palette, and I'm happy overall with the pigment composition. I'm not very picky, that's why I say overall, but there's really nothing that I thought was particularly unusual in there. This is a great set and also very affordable. So I think that's a really interesting option if you are looking to expand your collection of paints or to give yourself more options. Let me know what you think of these colors. I would really love to read your thoughts in the comments. And also I would like to thank Lightwish, the company who sent me these paints. I will have linked to the paints in the description below. And again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!